All right, y'all. Last topic, man. Adam Silver went on the Breakfast Ball podcast, which was shocking to me because usually when he do guest appearance on people's podcasts, he not live on location, man. He was actually in their studio. I thought that was cool, man, for the commissioner to drop by to a podcaster studio. But that was a major network though, so it is what it is. But no, he was asked a whole bunch of questions, and they asked him about All-Star Weekend, and he said that there will be some type of USA versus the world for All-Star Weekend, trying to fix that. So I'm gonna play how he described it, and then right after that, you're gonna hear Stephen A. Smith talking about it, and then I'm gonna come back and get y'all thoughts.
But what about the concept of USA versus the world? Is that something that we will see possibly next year as you continue to try to tinker with the weekend?
Yes. So next year, as part of our new media deals, the All-Star Game returns to NBC, where it was when we were younger. And it so happens that next season will be smack in the middle of the Winter Olympics. So in fact, the game will be on NBC, and the very day we're on, the lead-in will be Winter Olympic events, and then coming out of the All-Star Game, which is now going to be in the afternoon instead of the evening, there'll be more Olympic events. So what better time to feature some form of USA against the world?
No, S.A., in all seriousness, though, this is what you wanted, right? You wanted that intensity, the pride of USA versus international players. Talk to me.
Desperately. I desperately wanted it. And, I'll leave it to Wendy and the Jay because they both, the NBA means as much to them as it does to me. And they do an exceptional job of covering and giving us insight and tidbits that the average person doesn't know, along with myself. So it's like, look, I've been saying this, and I'm going to share with y'all how passionate I have been for that. I didn't just speak to Commissioner Adam Silver about this years ago. I went up to the league office and sat down with him and spoke about this a couple of years ago. It wasn't the only thing we talked about, of course. But that was one of the main things on my mind. And the reason why is because internationally, and please put Jay and Wendy up because I want to see them when I'm saying this. I brought that up to them because the fervor that comes from the international community with their athletes. We've heard a lot of things. Jay, you've been all over this world. Wendy, you've been all over this world. Tell me one time when it involved a player in Europe, a player overseas, with an event, whether it's their regular season games, whether it's a tournament or whatever, where complacency was ever a subject matter. It doesn't happen. You have people literally that would be scared to walk the streets if somebody was questioning their fervor in a competitive matchup because they looked at them and they felt they weren't giving enough effort. Juxtapose that to NBA All-Star Weekend. What the players, not all of them, that's why we're not naming names, but we all know who some of them are. What the players have done to dilute the importance, to dilute the significance of NBA All-Star Weekend is a crime. It is a crime.
Man, what's y'all thoughts on the whole thing? Adam Silver think fixing All-Star Weekend is going to be USA versus world. A lot of analysts, including Stephen A. Smith, have been lobbying for this for years. Stephen A. Smith just admitted that he went to the front office to talk to Adam Silver to try to convince him to do USA versus the world. And Stephen A. Smith prime motive behind this is that he think that the USA players are not taking it serious enough to be competitive in the game, but he's forgetting that it's foreign all-stars in that game as well that are also not taking it serious. And then him to try to compare it with how Euro ball is in Europe and they take it serious. He's comparing All-Star Weekend to how they perform in regular games. I just think it's tacky and stupid. But what's y'all thoughts?
My first question is the representatives of the world. Is it just NBA foreign players, or are they going and grab actual world players from like FIBA to come play against the NBA?
I doubt the NBA would ever showcase anybody outside the NBA. That's the same reason why they never wanted to play the N1 mixtape guys in a dunk contest, because everybody was like, man, if you want the dunk contest to be good, get them N1 guys and compete against the NBA. And ain't no way they're about to let outsiders come in and show you that it's better basketball players somewhere else.
Okay.
So it's just the foreigners in the league.
That leads me to my next question. Can you name me 12 all-star level foreign players?
No.
There's your answer right there.
Here's also your answer right here. The answer is in the game, in the title itself. It's called USA, one country versus the entire world.
Every other
country.
Tells
you everything you need to know. It tells you everything you know. If I take you to a AAU tournament, and after the tournament is over, we say we're going to take the champions and we're going to take the best player off of every team in AAU and take them and put them versus the champions. Does that sound like a fair? The world versus the USA, the entire tournament team versus one team, like that don't make sense. The world. You mean every country that you can think of, those best players against the USA,
which is
that
one
tells you, right? That tells you how dominant this country is.
Yes.
With basketball, that doesn't tell you something different. Now, if it was Serbia versus the world, would that be fair?
No, we'll kill them. I mean, 195 countries is a lot of countries. That's all I'm gonna say. USA is only one. We got 195 countries in the world.
That is dumb. The world. Would you do Serbia versus the world? Would you do Russia versus the world? Would you do Slovenia versus the world?
Latvia, none of them places you wouldn't do. France, you wouldn't do that. Well, I mean, not if you wanted to be competitive.
But it's not really the world. There's no Somali players. There's no players from Bangladesh.
I mean, do you think out of all the countries that's represented in the NBA, I think Serbia is Jokic, Slovenia is Luka, and whoever else, right? All
Greece, Giannis, France.
Yeah, so Giannis, all of that, France, all of that, all those countries represented. Do we have the best player from that country, or is the best player still in that country?
We have the best player from that country.
All right, so all of those countries, their best player is in the NBA, and you're going to take every best player from every country and make a team to go against the USA.
43 countries. It's 43 countries. The 43 countries got their best player playing in the NBA.
And they think that's gonna prove something. And people think they flexing. Oh man, the USA go get crushed. And
why is the world catching up? Why is the world?
The world. You're not even listening to the words. The world.
In the world, Craig? In the world?
I've said this before, and I've said this for the last couple of years with how the All-Star game has been going. Get these dudes something. You want to make it competitive again? Get these dudes something to play for. Like I use the example of baseball's All-Star game. The winning conference gets home field advantage in the World Series. Give these guys incentive again. You know what I'm saying? Make it competitive.
That man said,
all you got to do, if you want competition back, all you have to do is stop rewarding what you don't like. Right? If you want defense to be played, do not have a guy that don't play defense sitting on first team All NBA. Do not have a guy that don't play defense atop of the MVP ladder. Just don't do it. And once you start doing that, you will bring everything back. Just don't reward the bullshit. Reward the real.
Kind of like what they do in the playoffs.
Even when you voting for folks in the All-Star, don't vote motherfuckers in there that ain't gonna play both ways. Pause.
Yeah,
that's easy. But they're not going to do that
because they really don't want to fix it.
I think not rewarding the BS is a start, because what that means is that Adam Silver has to sit down with the top media heads and say, I don't want your talking heads talking about this anymore and glorifying this anymore. We want to glorify the stuff that we want our league to really look like. All right. So you get that instruction, and then you talk to your people who got votes, and you say, I know you part of the media. I know you've been voting one way, but here's my criteria. This is what I want to be rewarded. Right. And then it'll look more like what Scalabrine said, like how we got superstars that don't play both sides. How are we calling guys great that don't play both